that's my message to you guys. Think about what you say and what you do, because you're gonna look back and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Shane Dawson is one of the most recognizable YouTubers to set foot on this earth. And despite having dipped his toes into every controversy that you could possibly be involved with, he has had a career on this platform for 15 years and counting. And since his major cancellation in 2020, his reputation has tanked amongst the general population to such a degree that whoever runs Google Images, or like the algorithm that controls it, has chosen this to be the first picture that appears when you look him up. That's rough, but deserved. In just a few short years, approximately 30 million of Shane's viewers have jumped ship. It's actually a bit shocking to me that he still has that many left, because if you have watched his content anytime recently, it is jam-packed with anime filler.
Grabbing a lemon, right? I cut it in half. Okay. And then I cut it in half once more right there. You can see me cut it, right?
Now, younger Gen Z will likely remember Shane mostly from his conspiracy theories or his documentaries about content creators like Tana Mojo, Jake Paul, and most infamously, Jeffree Star, who I actually made a full-blown series about a couple months ago. And while those aforementioned videos are very stupid and cringe upon reflection, they are nowhere near, not even a little bit, close to how harmful his content was between the years 2009 to 2015. And that is definitely saying something. To put it bluntly, Shane's content was not just stupid, it was absolute trash with a capital T.
Look at me, I'm eating sushi. I like to make my eyes all Japanesey.
Hey, it's Ashley Titsdale from The Sweet Life of Nobody Gives a Shit. And you're watching the Disney Channel.
Did you know there's only 9 calories in each teaspoon of and it has zinc and calcium, which helps prevent tooth decay. Have a good day. My first thought in reading that was, then why are Miley Cyrus's teeth so... Just kidding! But seriously.
During this time, he produced commentary videos, vlogs, skits, and even a full-length film, all of which contained a ton of racism, ableism, and homophobia.
Alright, fat girls, that's our show!
And on top of that, jokes about things like SA and PDF file activities.
You're probably wondering why I'm smiling at you like a... Hey, what's up you guys? So some of you may know I just recently had a birthday where I turned 23. I know, that's the average age of most of the guys on To Catch a Predator.
And he did all of that while knowing that he had a very young and impressionable audience. And the age of his audience at the time is abundantly clear in a lot of ways. For one thing, it's impossible to make a video like this that is designed for adults.
So this is my favorite magazine, Popstar Magazine. It has Miley and the Jonas Brothers. I read this every single night.
Another example is if you look at his old fan videos from around this time. Like this one that asks the profound question, what if Shane Dawson never existed? I climb, I slip, I fall. If you're wondering the answer to that question, the child who created this simply writes, "We love you, Shaney, forever and ever. You mean the world to us. Love, Dawson whores of the world." Yes, I wish it wasn't true, but apparently a lot of his fans called themselves Dawson. Another honorable mention I have is this high schooler who had Shane Dawson as her senior quote. "When the odds are against you, believe in yourself and you will find your inner hero, Shane Dawson." Which is so unfortunate. I am so sorry, Paula, wherever you are. They need to redact this for you. Now, if you're wondering what the hell I was watching in 2009, the answer is Dan and Phil, because I'm a good person. Just kidding. I actually don't blame any of his young fans, rest assured. And I'll even admit it, when I was 11 years old, I encountered a Shane Dawson video that sadly went platinum in my household.
My name is Gabby. I'm 12 years old.
I used to go around saying I'm pregnant as and you know, thank God I got back on my Dan and Phil grind after that. Like, phew, it was a close call. Spoiler alert though, just like Jeffree Star, I do also believe him to be a criminal. In fact, in the immediate aftermath of working on the Jeffree Star series, I saw Shane as someone who is a racist villain in the past, but was ultimately stupid and docile in the present day.
It's moving fast.
Here is what we got.
I truly believed that Shane was just Jeffree Star's Igor. You know, like a problematic dumbass who just got carried away in Jeffree's lies. But oh no. I actually think Shane might be the ultimate chess player with more evil intentions than Jeffree Star and James Charles combined. And for the sake of journalistic integrity, I have been subjecting myself to more Shane Dawson content than anyone else on this earth except for Shane himself. I stayed up for multiple nights on end, surviving off of Tums and G Fuel inside this Paddington and Peru cup, reaching madness and aging like a president. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I may have manifested him into my life because I saw him in the flesh. No, I'm not joking. We were both in the Mario Land gift shop at Universal Studios at the same time. We should not have occupied the same space. Upon spotting him, my fiance told me to put on sunglasses, but it was too late. There had been a half a second of eye contact. And dare I say, I have a memorable face. This prompts me to say, Shane, if you are watching this, how does it feel to know that you and your mortal enemy were on the Mario ride together? Hairy, foul, beast. Unfortunately, I'm not the only person who has recently bumped into him at a theme park. A few weeks ago, I came across this TikTok on my FYP that is a group of 20-year-old girls who are meeting Shane Dawson to heal their inner teen. I hate to foreshadow, but their inner teen should be very scared right now.
Oh well, he's sexy and underage, so I know you guys are gonna like him.
And their happy faces, along with this emotionally compelling music, are already concerning enough. But just wait until you read the comments. I'm sobbing. He looks so freaking sweet in this video. Why am I emotional over Shane Dawson right now? 11,000 likes. I know he was canceled and I don't watch him no more, but I would most definitely stop and ask for a picture and talk to heal my inner teen who wanted to meet him so bad. 26,000 likes. And the creme de la creme, he's probably just as nervous when people come up to him now. This sweet interaction probably made his month. He should be nervous. But that wasn't even the end of it. Just a few days later, I found this TikTok of Shane and Co. listening to Bad Baby. Under which the comments are again very positive, with one commenter even saying, I love him and I don't care. 6,000 likes. And when I saw this, I said, hell no. I'm stopping this train, this Shane train, dead in its tracks. Because these people, A, forgot what happened, or B, know some of what happened, but don't realize the full extent of the issue here. And until recently, I fell into Camp B. I knew he did f***ed up things, but not to this extent. Between 2020 and 2021, Shane deleted 1,000 videos from his channels Shane Dawson TV, and Shane Dawson TV 2, which was the equivalent of deleting 1.4 billion views. And that's not even accounting for all of the collaborations that have been deleted from other content creators who didn't want to be associated with Shane after his famous cancellation of,
I did not blank my cat. I've never done anything weird with my cat.
Now, this made it a challenge to find all the footage we needed to create this video, let alone the ability to put everything in a timeline. And for those of you who don't know, deleted videos can be found through a web archive called the Wayback Machine. And it is an easy peasy process if anyone has a copy of the URL to the video. The issue that became the real hurdle was the fact that these videos are so old. Because if you recall, all of the videos on YouTube used to run using something called the Adobe Flash Player. Major throwback, I know. Which was phased out in 2015. Meaning, even if you had the link to a deleted video and there was a snapshot on the Wayback Machine, you were still toast. Because if it was saved before 2015, the chances are you are not able to watch it. This extinct Flash Player made it appear as though all of this content was just lost to time. But there was no way we were just gonna sit here and rely on old snippets of re-uploaded Shane Dawson content compilations on YouTube. Oh no, not for this video, not for an Unhinged deep dive. So we built a fucking virtual machine that could run an outdated version of Windows to run an archived version of Adobe Flash Player, which fortunately and unfortunately allowed us to comb through hours and hours of content that Shane wanted gone. But despite all of that work, there are in fact some videos that only exist via re-uploads and little snippets. And so I've come up with a system. In the scenario I don't know the upload date, we will refer to the Shane haircut timeline. To do this, we simply must analyze the cut, swoop, droop, and shine of the Dawson's hair to determine the year. And I've come up with this simple formula here that will help us draw that conclusion. What exact era is Shane in? Let's take the music video Fuck Up from 2014, for example.
I'm sorry, I'm a fuck up. Yeah.
Here we see Shane's hair has a longer cut, slightly cropped bangs, and unfortunately, sideburns.
I can't do nothing right.
He also swoops his hair to the left side, which of course leads us to that final conclusion: cut plus swoop divided by droop squared times shine equals 2014. With all that being said though, and without further ado, we are here to answer the age-old question: what is wrong with Dawson?
I hate people. There, I said it. I fucking hate people. What you are about to see may shock you. It may throw you into a seizure of uncontrollable vomit. So get those thumbs ready to press thumbs up for my shitty life. First question comes from iPod Touchman 49. I don't get it. Oh well, he's sexy and underage, so I know you guys are gonna like him. If I could go back in time, what would I do?
Shane's early years / meet the Yaws. Shane Dawson was born Shane Lee Yaw on July 19th, 1988 in Long Beach, California, specifically at Long Beach Memorial Hospital, which is coincidentally the same hospital where Miranda Cosgrove and Jeanette McCurdy were born.
You were born in Long Beach? I was. Long Beach Memorial. Actually, same hospital as Miranda Cosgrove.
And same hospital as Shane Dawson.
No way! Are you kidding?
Yes.
I mean, hey, thank you, Long Beach Memorial. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Shane also has 2 brothers, Jared and Jacob Yaw. And Jacob is sort of like the lost Yaw brother because Shane never talks about him online. When it comes to Jacob, I had to scour the internet to find any information about this fucking guy. And after watching a delirious amount of content in search of him, I was only able to find one deleted vlog that he cameoed in, which was titled Hot Pepper Challenge, published way back in 2012.
Oh my god.
Are they burning through your hand?
Alright, go.
Are you gonna take both of them? You have to chew them.
How hot is it? Is it hot?
How red is my face, Shane?
Real red. You're crying a little bit.
Some netizens on reddit.com speculated on his absence, theorizing that maybe he was a drug addict, or he went to jail, or that he was possibly adopted. And some of these theories I was able to actually confirm from an old episode of Ear Biscuits, posted approximately in 2013. Shane says that growing up, both of his brothers were drug addicts, an illness that Jared eventually overcame, while unfortunately, Jacob continued his drug use, which ultimately resulted in his family distancing themselves from him.
My brother Jared, I'm sure he's fine with me going into this because he's turned his life around, but he got into drugs. And my other brother got very into drugs to a point where we didn't see him.
As far as the theory that Jacob was adopted, it's really none of my business to say whether or not he is. But I will say this. Jared and Shane share a lot more similarities in terms of appearance, which is honestly a really good thing because he's the only one that is missing a pink face and a neck beard. Good for him. Granted, we know very little of this guy. I personally think he might be the least weird and least problematic Yaw, because as we'll get into, like, every single person in this family is just f***ed up. In contrast, Shane has always spoken really highly of Jared, spelled Jerid. Interesting decision, but you may actually recognize him and his bald head because he's been a very important part of Shane's conspiracy theories and podcast for several years now.
There's a 10th planet in our solar system called Nibiru where a species called the Anunnaki lived. And the Inkies had gained a consciousness and the Anunnaki wiped them all out. Pretty much just slaughtered them.
Jared and Shane had a really good relationship growing up, but fun fact, he threw Shane through a glass door at 9 years old.
So at 9 years old, your brother threw the 400-pound you through a glass door?
It was an accident, kind of. We were really into wrestling at the time, and he was trying to do like this Undertaker move. He covered me in blankets, so I was okay. But the move was he put me in blankets on a chair, and then he would run toward the chair, and he was trying with his arm, and he was trying to knock me out. But then he missed, and I just flew through the glass.
Which is pretty much the only time he has ever faced any sort of justice, I fear. But all I knew about him prior to research was that he's a flat earther, which is a theory that has been debunked numerous times, and seldom is it a good thing to believe in. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a flat earther be like based as hell. But anyways, he's also the owner of a clothing brand that sells very ugly shirts called Language Arts Clothing Co. And he's also a underground rapper. And look, when you hear that Shane Dawson's brother is a rapper, you don't know what to expect. But I most certainly was not prepared to hear it because it's essentially a mix of like old school hip hop with pirate music. And you know what? Sure, maybe rap isn't your thing, but check out this freestyle and tell me he didn't hit that shit.
Just relax. I didn't pay my taxes, so now my furniture's gone. Where do I relax with?
And then we have Jared's last flop of an independent endeavor, which is his YouTube channel called Cool Guy with Sunglasses. The fuck of it all is that he ain't even wearing sunglasses. Apparently, he was inspired to make this channel after some of Shane's fans told him that he's sexy.
A lot of you guys would comment saying how funny I was and how sexy I was and you want to see more of me and
I really appreciated that.
And there's only two things worth even bringing up with this channel, and it's that first, Shane Dawson does an interview with him where he just abruptly lets out a big shart in the middle of it.
It's another person.
And secondly, and this is really bizarre, okay, he doesn't post anything on it anymore except for weekly tests, which is just bizarre because it's like, does he not realize you can test your audio without posting it? And why hasn't Shane told him that? Like, he just sits there. And then there's Shane's father, Kyle Yaw Jr., which, by the way, if your name is Kyle, you should not be a junior. That name should have been put to a stop a lot sooner than that. But basically, Kyle Yaw is a piece of shit. In Shane's Draw My Life video, he not only says that Kyle hit him and his brothers, but that he abandoned them for a chick with big tits and made really good burritos.
But hitting us wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the things he'd say. And I always believed him. Even up until my 20s, I thought he was right. Luckily, when I was 9, he left my mom and us for another woman. She had huge tits, and she was really good at making burritos.
This woman was also apparently Shane's Spanish teacher and his mom's best friend.
And yeah, so he ended up leaving us for my Spanish teacher / mom's best friend.
Oh, no.
Which is just the ultimate douchebag thing that you can do. Like, I don't know how you can possibly make that even worse. Like, damn, might as well take a dump on the welcome mat on your way out. And many years later, Shane would post a video titled My Relationship with My Dad, which explains that he reconnected with his dad, but his dad was pretty much like, hey, stop telling people I hate you as a kid because it's making me look really bad.
I don't want to get too much into it because I've talked to him recently and he doesn't really want, his shit aired out there. And he shouldn't, because I've already talked about him enough.
It's a whole thing, but we'll circle back to that later. This brings us to Teresa Yaw, who is a staple of Shane's channel since its inception. And to just put it right out there, put all the cards on the table already, she is very weird, and their relationship is weird and disturbing, to be honest. I mean, even take this one picture, for instance. Like, what the deuce is that? How old is this kid? She would appear in a lot of his older content with videos like My Mom Reacts, where Shane relishes in making her extremely uncomfortable.
Hey, what's up, you guys? You know what time it is. Time to make my mom really, really uncomfortable.
Talking about things like her nudes, her pussy, and even watching porn together. The list goes on. Just some weird ass shit.
Oh my god, nude pics. Oh, I'm on your dating profile site. Sorry. Just click out of there.
And it's not even like a one-sided thing that Shane is like foisting upon her. She absolutely plays into this behavior and enables him.
Katie wants to know, what's your favorite sexual noise?
Is it coming out of my mouth or whose mouth?
I don't know whose mouth it's going in or coming out.
Which I guess isn't surprising since she raised him. Roll the clips, Jamie.
Okay, Mom, I'm gonna go see my girlfriend.
This random guy from Yugoslavia wants pictures of my pussy. Gotta go.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Friday video, and it's a special video because you all saw my mom's vagina today. Is that an embarrassed face or an excited face?
A little bit of both.
Megan Marie says, hey Teresa, have you ever tried to lick your own vagina before?
Probably the worst example of Shane taking it too far with his mom is this video where he actually shows a nude picture of his mom blurred out on screen.
Well, at least she's still naive.
I would hope that she wasn't actually naked in the original photo, but at the very least, she appears to be in her underwear. And if you just think about that for half a second, imagine putting a picture of your mom in Photoshop, probably wearing just underwear, and editing her all for the sake of a air quotes joke about how she doesn't understand how the internet works. I don't know, it just feels like some kind of like Freudian slip. In the case of the they watched together. This was a video called Two Kids, One Sandbox, which thankfully has nothing to do with actual children. Has a scary ass name for no reason at all. But it is a shocking video basically, where a woman shoves a dildo up a man's urethra. I don't even know if you'll be able to tell what I'm saying because those words will definitely be bleep bleep bleeps. But that's why she responds like this.
Ow, ow! What is that? What is that? Is it a banana?
Now, watching porn with your mom is really outlandish to me specifically too, because I already felt uncomfortable enough as a child watching the sexual tension between the Bee and Vanessa in the Bee movie. Like, what the hell was that? And aside from the weird sexual stuff, she also participates in his racism. For example, in a video titled Mom's Ghetto Makeover, Shane invites all his black friends over to do exactly what the title suggests, which is giving her a, air quotes, ghetto makeover.
Today I'm filming a video where my mom is trying to be black. So we have Shauna coming over, we have a couple other black people coming over, and we're gonna force my mom to twerk and pop her pussy. I'm also gonna force her to wear very, very revealing clothing.
Which actually just consists of giving her cornrows, which basically is just two braids on her head.
Who is that with those cornrows?
To Shane's logic, that's enough to make her black for his music video.
Damn, who's that black girl in my house? Who is that?
And this stuff really makes you wonder what the hell she was teaching him growing up. This also isn't even close to the end of Teresa participating in his debauchery, but let's move on to Shane's high school years. Shane went to Lakewood High School. During his years there, he struggled making friends and ended up spending most of his time with his grandma. He says that ages 9 to 18 were some of the hardest in his life because his dad was actively a deadbeat, of course, not paying any sort of child support, leaving them living off of food stamps and government cheese.
So food was a coping mechanism for you at that time.
It was really cheap to eat cans and cans of refried beans and government cheese. That's what was cheap for us.
And it was the perfect storm for him to begin eating excessively as a coping mechanism. Henceforth, gaining a crap ton of weight, which he estimated to be about 450 pounds. There was no way to be for sure though, because he always maxed out the scale to error.
You said you weighed how much?
My highest was, I don't know exact number, my scale only went up to 350 and I was always at error, but I lost a bunch of weight and then I was at 350, so I was probably highest 400.
Apparently he looked like a hearty 250 though.
But you know what, I held it well. I never looked 400. I looked like 250.
He also says that besides his own grandma, he only made one new friend every year. And he describes that one friend as usually being R-slurred.
No, I didn't really have friends. I had like one friend every year. And they were also, I mean, I had a friend who was like in a wheelchair and like, I mean, let's just say, God, I don't want to say, I've already said, oh Lord. Whatever, I had a retarded friend.
Because he became the president of the Best Buddies Club, which was a program where leaders would befriend a R-word person.
I was the president of Best Buddies, which is a program in school where you befriend a person and you take to the movies and you like go to Disneyland with them, and I was the president. I know, I'm a giver.
Kind of depressing how he looked down on these kids that he was supposed to care about.
I hate people. There, I said it. I fucking hate people.
But anyways, during this time, Shane also began directing videos for his school projects. And to my shock, what? No way. Huh? Many of them were highly offensive and horrible. He did everything from dressing up as Adolf Hitler.
Talk about labor, kill all people, and figure out the currency.
To his very first blackface.
She got from and I got a face of a beast.
Baby's first blackface. Thank you. I hate it. What makes it worse too is his explanation for having made these videos. He says because he was bullied for his weight, he took influence from black culture to create his jokes.
So yeah, I was in that area of Long Beach. So my crowd was all black people, and this sounds racist and whatever. I guess it's going to, but I definitely got picked on a lot being a 400-pound white lesbian looking boy. I had to form a sense of humor, and I really took from the black culture, and I started creating jokes out of the movies they were watching, the music they were listening to, all this stuff. So my humor is very, very black, and it still is pretty black.
Please explain to me how black culture influenced you to do blackface. I'm waiting. Friggin' moron. Anyways, Shane says that he was popular amongst his teachers, who would often take him aside and tell him that his videos were hilarious.
The teachers would pass around my videos to all the other teachers, and it was like this big thing.
So you went viral amongst the teachers at your high school.
It was very weird. Yeah. And once in a while, like, they'd take me aside and be like, saw your Hitler high school video. Funny.
Which, if true, means that, in a way, they kind of failed him by misleading him and affirming that this problematic behavior was okay to a child. That shit would not fly at my high school. Granted, Shane is 10 years older than me. I'm just saying I would have got my ass freaking kicked for doing half of this shit. And I think that is a key that is missing to Shane's story. It's that he never got his ass beat. But I digress. In 2006, he graduated from Lakewood High and began his long and twisted journey into becoming the most problematic millennial. But before we get into that, I need to tell you about today's sponsor, Midas Merge. Midas Merge is a relaxing game that's all about combining items and adorable animals. Now, this is my second time working with them, and I cannot tell you how happy this makes me, because I am a huge fan of this game. And listen, okay, I know a lot of people tell you that, but I am being so serious. I play this game unironically every day. And if you still don't believe me, the reviews speak volumes. Like, it has 4.9 stars with 16,000 reviews. And get this, the game doesn't even have ads. It's just pure freaking joy. Anyways, let me tell you all about it. Midas Merge is set in a fantasy land called the Gardens of Gold, which has been covered in dark shadows by the evil, deplorable goddess Nyx, or as the turtle would say, that fancy emo meanie. And listen, I gotta open up, I gotta be honest about my girl Nyx. It's hard not to catch feelings. She literally said this to me. What am I supposed to do? Regardless of appearance or charm though, we can luckily restore the kingdom by merging items together and feeding adorable animals. Like this little guy. Get a little key, get a little guy. It's simple. For example, if you hatch 3 level 1 crystal fawns, you get the level 2 fawn. This one's name is Leo, and like, need I say more? Okay, he took the substance. He's beautiful. Try Midas Merge today. It's free. You can play it offline. There's no freaking ads, I must reiterate. So be amongst the first 100 people to install via my link or QR code to receive a unique level 2 turtle. Okay, this ultra cute creature boosts your garden progress and will be personalized with my name. This is a limited time offer, so don't miss out. Click my link in the description or scan this QR code here and try it out. Thank you so much, Midas Merge, and now back to the video. The 2007 era. Not much is known about this year, except that shortly after his graduation, on March 14th, 2007, he made a blog post on his MySpace sharing his journey about weight loss, updating to his close friends that he lost over 150 pounds. Aside from exercise, he had a fat removal surgery, which he would later say made him have to wear a makeshift girdle in order to keep his extra skin in check. Despite the latter though, I personally think this probably helped him build the confidence he needed to be a piece of shit online. It's like the dude lost weight and got a haircut, and all of a sudden he's just dropping the N-word like it's nothing.
Julie wants to know, Shane, what would your black name be? Well, Julie, that is extremely racist, but I'm gonna say Shane Dawson, I wasn't saying the N-word, you guys. Yes, I was.
But moving on to 2008, at age 19, Shane would post his first ever YouTube video and began going by the alias of Shane Dawson. Now, where does the name Dawson come from? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it was inspired by the characters Jack Dawson from Titanic, as well as Dawson from Dawson's Creek. Both of these characters are startlingly good people, so I find it to be very ironic. Shane, predictably, would also go on to use this alias to divert criticism away from his work, saying, "When people get mad at me, that wasn't Shane Yaw, that was Shane Dawson," which is giving Jeffree Star, because he once famously said in a Chris Hansen interview, that was Jeffree Star the musician, not Jeffree Star the person that did that.
Blood on the Dance Floor and Jeffree Star the musician did a lot of tours separately.
Now, this is what Shane's channel looked like on March 16th, 2008. He branded everything on this first channel as SDTV, aka Shane Dawson TV. And as you can tell, he was very proud of this. Like, look at this intro where he has SDTV crawl across the screen for a painful 15 seconds straight. If you're an astute observer, you may have noticed that he used that weird comic book filter from Photo Booth. For some reason, everyone thought it was really cool to use that at the time.
This is the comic book setting in effects in Photo Booth. Seems kind of crazy.
Like, I don't know, society was just built different back then. But his very first video was posted on March 10th, 2008, which is actually National Mario Day. How serendipitous. Anyways, this first video is titled SDTV Episode 1, The 411.
What's crackin', YouTubers? In case you don't know me, my name is Shane. Nice to meet you. All that stuff.
He kicks it all off claiming he has fucking cancer and says he only has 1 year left to live.
Well, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this. Truth is, I have cancer. And I actually only have a year. Until, yeah.
Before quickly going, I'm just kidding.
I'm lying. I ain't got cancer. I'm just bored as shit.
And proceeds to make, forgive me millennials, okay? I love you, but one of the most millennial faces I've ever seen.
I mean, I'm not gonna, like, play guitar and sing, "Hey there, Delilah, what you dancing across the picture into you?" Yeah, I'm really not gonna do that.
You know, it hurts to watch. And the rest of the video is truly no better, because he holds his neck at like this awkward 70-degree angle, specifically to keep his hair glued to the side of his head. And I know this has already been said many a times via memes, but he truly does look like Rumpelstiltskin from Shrek. But you could compare this to a lot of things. It kind of reminds me of the bent neck lady from Haunted House, or the fucking Earth on its axis, or the dream face reveal. He has enough hairspray on the side of his face that it could rip the skin off, or his stealth skin, I should say. It's an awful unfunny video that nobody could possibly enjoy in the year 2025. Well, except this person, of course. I miss the old Shane so much. I wish I could time travel. Out of all the things you could time travel for, you time travel for Shane Dawson. This video would serve as the beginning of his vlogs. And at the end of this video, okay, and most importantly for the lore, is that he announces in the next video, he will be taking his camera to work.
I'm gonna take my camera to work. Yeah, Jenny Craig. Extremely exciting.
And that sounds inconsequential, but this decision would change YouTube history forever. Now, at the time, Shane's mom got him a job at a weight loss company called Jenny Craig so that he could save up money and move to Hollywood to become a star. The video in question was called Jenny Craig Video. Finally, revealed. And in it, he films himself, his mom, and his brother, as well as several geriatric co-workers doing some wild, whimsical shenanigans by having them read a weight loss smut book called Losing It to the camera.
I don't know where that horny little dirtbag got the idea I was interested in going in that direction.
He also proceeds to film himself and these geriatric women on a pole, stripping and dancing like blah, 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 blah. But to their utter shock and horror, when Shane posted it online, Jenny Craig management saw it and realized that this was not going to help them sell their weight loss starter kits. This resulted in the video single-handedly getting Shane, his mom, and 6 other people fired. Kinda effed how he influenced these grannies with a stable job to get raunchy with him for like 15 views. Man just freaking tanked their retirement plan. And on August 29th, 2009, Shane officially shared this information in a video titled YouTube got me fired. Now, Wayback Machine couldn't load this video, but for some reason it was able to play the audio.
So they came into my work today at Shmeny Shmrank, fired me. Then, after they gave me that little heavy dose of fun, they went to my mom's work, because she works at Shmeny Shmrank too, and they fired her. Then they went to my brother's work, because for some reason he works at Shmeny Shmrank too, and they fired him. Then they're gonna fire everybody that was involved in the video.
And it's basically him getting mad and saying he wants to go to the Jenny Craig building and light it on fire, but that there's no way he's gonna do that. And his epiphany to not light the Jenny Craig building on fire came to him while he was at a graveyard and he saw little kids crying at the grave of their dead mom and an old man crying for his wife. I'm not kidding.
You know, I thought I could get really mad and drive over to Shmeny Shmrag and light that shit on fire and all that, but no, I'm not going to. Because today I actually learned something. Surprisingly. I was at a graveyard and I saw a lot of people like really upset. You know, like there was little kids crying, you know, to their dead mom, and there was like an old man talking to his dead wife. I just thought like it could be so much worse, you know? It could be worse.
Then the video ends with him saying this.
If there's any sugar mamas or sugar daddies out there, hit a brother up. Because, I'm good with my mouth, and I'll just shut my eyes and close my nose and take a taste.
After this, Shane got a temporary job as a security guard at the Long Beach Aquarium. Quote, I started working as a security guard at an aquarium in Long Beach. Wasn't very threatening, no gun. Then, to his fortune and our misfortune, about a week later, Shane was contacted by YouTube to join their brand new partner program. Quote, so I was doing that, parentheses, his job, while making videos every week. And I started getting more views, like 10,000, then 20,000, and when it got to 50,000, YouTube contacted me to become part of their partnership program, which was new at the time. It slowly became my job. So, in a way, him getting fired from Jenny Craig would become the ultimate catalyst for Shane's internet existence today. Jenny Craig, on the other hand, went bankrupt in 2023, and to that, I have to say, good. They must pay for their sins. Shortly after he foisted his co-workers into unemployment, he would post the third installment of his SDTV series, featuring his best friend at the time, Pam Ashton, titled Being White Burns. This video begins with Shane claiming that he wants to shift his content towards social commentary and that he's going to be performing a little bit of a social experiment.
But now I'm deciding that we should get a little, I don't know, social commentary going on.
The commentary in question being painting his friend Lanelle's face white so that she could see what it's like to be a white person for a day.
What we're gonna do is we're thinking, what would happen if Lanelle was white for a day.
But before they do that, Shane wants Linnell to enjoy her final moments of being a black person. And of course, as you've already guessed, it is going to get racist. He takes her to eat fried chicken.
So we're celebrating Linnell's last minutes as a black girl. The only way we know how.
Racist, uncreative, unfunny, boring, stupid. The lack of creativity is honestly kind of astounding. We'll be talking about this a little bit later, but he also says plenty of racist things about Hispanic people, and they're always something like tacos, nachos, like it's not just racist, it's like, do better. Cause we're bored and we're tired. Anyways though, they head back to Shane's house and they paint her face white. And when I say white, I don't mean the racist Crayola default skin tone. Seriously, who the fuck decided this was flesh tone? He does full on death metal, Pennywise the Clown, bright white paint. I truly don't even understand how he could call this an experiment. Like, what was gonna change? Like, you made her look scary as fuck. Linnell ends up taking this face paint off pretty quickly because it's burning her, which is why the video is titled Being White Burns.
This is a really good experiment at first, but then the shit's starting to dry and it's starting to itch like a bitch.
And somehow, some fucking way, this condescending ass motherfucker tries to end this video on an inspirational note. It couldn't be this, but he's like changing the world with his final message or something. An uplifting pep talk about how being ethnic is good and to be truly who you are racially.
We learned that being ethnic is good. You know, if you're black, stay black. If you're white, stay white. If you're Mexican, stay Mexican. Love who you are.
Thank you, Shane. I think I will stay Mexican. Oh, while this sad little ukulele song plays in the background that I swear to God he still uses in his documentaries to this day. Now, after that second video, he stopped labeling his uploads as Shane Dawson TV episode blank and began frequently posting skits, just straightforward skits. Some of the titles to these include Leave Miley Alone, Pickup Lines, Hodini and Dana cop a feel, Yo Mama YouTube battle, and so on and so forth. Now, the very first skit that he uploaded was titled Hodini's Street Magic, and this video is important because it is the first time that Shane ever put an original racist character into a video. This one is called Hodini, and her whole spiel is that she has pink hair, a bandana, and a terrible black scent.
Well, I'm gonna be playing some tricks, some street magic, some real street magic.
Basically just being, air quotes, ghetto.
Pick a card, any card except that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Is this your card?
No.
You sure?
I don't know.
You sure?
No. Okay.
Told you!
And through performing street magic, Hodini eventually transforms herself into a hot dog.
Alakazam, kabam. Shit. Alakacrambla. Coochie? Yo, Ray Ray, am I floating?
Girl, you a hot dog.
I'm a what?
Girl, you a hot dog.
Now back in these old days, okay, when Shane would present a skit, afterwards he would come out and be like, hey, did you guys like that? I worked really hard on it, okay? And once the skit ends, Shane comes out and is like, I hope you guys like that skit. I worked so hard on it. And he says this idea for this racist character just came to him in a shower.
So there you have it. Crazy ass video. I don't know, I was in the shower and it just came to me, so I thought it would be funny, and I hope you liked it.
This just proves that some of our shower thoughts need to stay there. And maybe he should have been a little more focused on washing his ass. Something that we canonically know he does not do. In fact, it's actually a Shane Dawson-ism, a Shane Dawson quirk, that everyone around him suffers due to his smell. Here's what he had to say about his ass in 2013.
Let's talk about how I get rid of my dingleberries in my asshole. Which, by the way, I don't. When I rub my asshole, it kind of feels like I have cornrows. Cornrows with beads on them. So how I wipe my ass is not good enough, as I've been told by many people who have smelt my ass.
And here's what his husband has to say about his ass in 2023.
We were sitting on the couch, right? You know, being romantic, and I had my legs spread open. And he goes, "What is that smell? Did you poop?" And I said, "No, it's my rash, because I chafe."
Chafe smells? No, it was because you didn't wipe well enough.
But I digress, okay? This Hodini character was just the first step in creating a whole smorgasbord of intensely insensitive caricatures. Lest we mention Shanaynay, oh my god, we are getting there. Also, I would be a big dum-dum not to mention that the formatting of these videos is spectacular. Between each break, between skits or at the end of the video, there is a bench that always makes a cameo with pictures of Shane above it where he's trying to look attractive. It is the most bizarre thing ever, and during this time, I did find out that Shane was attempting to be an actor and actively doing auditions. So these are like all of his professional headshots. Besides, you know, like whatever the hell the comic book filter one is. Shane was also uncharacteristically into fashion at this time. For those of you who do not know, there was a vest trend in the early 2000s, often accompanied by a tie. Shane loved this look, but it did not love him. In fact, the only person who can pull this style off is Ashley Tisdale. He also loved to wear suspenders, which honestly amplified his Rumpelstiltskinness. It's just kind of weird to see him this way, because during the entirety of the rest of his career, he will be dressing completely devoid of any personality. I mean, we all know about that pig shirt that he's worn the majority of adulthood, right? Which, by the way, is being sold at Walmart for $15. Why is Walmart selling Shane Dawson merch? I don't know, you tell me. Here's a quick montage of dorky ass outfits for you. As for Shane's other 2008 skits and parodies, they are similarly unimpressive, but the general atmosphere of early YouTube was still so new and DIY that he began gaining even more notoriety. Some highlights of this content include episode 5, where he makes a very decrepit looking Kermit the Frog do a parody of You're So Gay by Katy Perry, in which he accuses Miss Piggy of being gay because she's been wearing flannels and doesn't shave her nether regions.
You don't like to shave your legs or even clean up your special place.
Which is a crazy reminder of just how much the landscape of gender relations has truly changed. I mean, Katy Perry wrote that original song, if you haven't had the displeasure of hearing it, about Pete Wentz because he wore guy liner. 2025 would never cheer on this harassment of femboys. Anyways, this video ends with Shane and Kermit ironically making out. And listen, there is more than enough reasons to hate Shane Dawson, but at least he turned the freaking frogs gay.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap, not funny.
In episode 6, titled Phone Sex, for whatever reason, again with the clickbait, Shane begins the video by rowboating across the screen and letting us know that he was so excited about this skit that he hasn't even taken a shower.
Alright, so I just woke up, hence the reason why I have eye boogers. My hair looks like shit and I smell. But I just wanted to bring you guys this video so bad that I decided not to take a shower.
This is a skit about Shane getting a call from his agent Charlene, which is a character that uses a crane arm to smoke cigarettes out of the hole in her neck. I think it's called a tracheostomy. Don't quote me on that one.
How did the FUBU audition go?
Not too good, considering they were looking for a 12-year-old black boy who could crump and pop lock.
Oh, you could pull it off.
But Charlene tells Shane about a new role opportunity that he has. And it's for a show that's going to premiere on HBO that is about... I'm just going to let Charlene explain it.
It's about a transsexual who has sex with animals and murdered her family.
She goes on to explain that she's hooking Shane up with a transgender woman named Trixie who just got out of prison so that she can teach Shane how to be trans.
She's a transsexual who just got off a 3-year sentence in prison for murdering her baby.
You know, just some very chalant transphobia. Another weird element to this skit is that Shane's only competition for this role is Nick Jonas, which Shane says they should let him have.
How about we just let Nick Jonas have this one?
Which prompts Charlene, and by Charlene I mean Shane Dawson, of course, dressed like Charlene, to say something crazy about a 16-year-old Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas can have a 12-inch shoved down his throat. Honey, this role is for you.
Then the video ends like this.
Now I gotta go live with a chick with a dick.
Unfortunately, we may never know what happened because I cannot find where the hell the follow-up video to this is. I also need to mention that for the entirety of time that Shane Dawson has been online, the whole disturbing pattern of Shane sexualizing his family has been present. I mean, on November 15th, 2008, he posted a video titled Dare the Dawson.
Leave a comment on this video giving me a dare.
In which he licks his grandma's toe as a dare. And I say dare in quotations because it wasn't just like a quick little lick and a ew. It's like a whole sexual slobber fest.
I dare you to lick your grandma's foot.
I just scraped off all my corns. Come on, get in there, pussy. Oh, yeah.
It's also worth mentioning that Dare the Dawson appears to be the origin of Shane making sexual jokes about his cat Muffins.
I dare your cat Muffins to eat your sperm. She's already tried it, she doesn't like it.
You know, his cat that he supposedly maybe...
I did not blank my cat. I've never done anything weird with my cats.
For anyone somehow unaware of what I'm talking about, there is an infamous podcast clip that resurfaced in 2020 where Shane jokes that he humped his cat and came on his cat at the age of 19.
The things I've done to my poor animals, they will never love me. I've done terrible things. I used to...
Oh, no. I don't know if you want to go there, Shane. What'd you do?
One time, I laid my cat down on her back.
Are you going to get arrested for this?
I don't know. No.
Think about it.
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't penetrate. I laid the cat down on her back, and then I moved her little chicken legs, like, you know, spread open or whatever. And I was like, if I just, like, hump, but, like, on her tummy, like, that's not weird. Like, whatever. And then I humped it, and it kept going, and I came all over the cat.
No, you did not.
It was, like, my first sexual experience.
No
I was also,
way.
like, 19, so it's like, you know.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Did you just say you came on a cat?
Guys, I think I have to put money in the meter.
Yeah, right?
And guess how old Shane is in this video? Go ahead, guess. There's also a comment underneath this video that actually dares Shane to have sex with Muffins in the next video. So I suppose he does have an excuse for whatever the hell he did because, oh, it was a dare. Woo! Now, after posting this nasty ass video, he made a blog post saying that he counted over 200 comments that were asking if he was a virgin. And I must mention that during this era, Shane actually talked a lot about being a virgin and saving himself for marriage due to religious values. And this is honestly very weird to me because he seems to use it as a gateway to ask his underage fans if they've had In this post, he writes, I don't in any means want to be the next Jonas and wear a fucking ring about it, but I do think it's important to spread good morals, especially in this day and age where 13-year-olds are blowing guys for Twilight tickets. So here's my question to you. Are you a virgin? And if so, is it because you have the same morals as me? If not, it's okay. Don't be ashamed. I just want to know if I'm the only crazy one out here. Ha ha. Okay, first of all, why even say that thing about the 13-year-olds and Twilight? I swear to God, in the 2000s, men would jump through freaking hoops. They would jump over the fucking Hoover Dam if they could, just for an opportunity to sexualize young girls, or just bring up to them in any capacity. Like this whole thing about the 13-year-olds and the Twilight tickets, there is no such instance of that happening. He's just making this up out of his own twisted delusion. A random ass example that I could think of right now, just off the top of my head, that I'm sure Shane would love, is when Lindsay Lohan was on SNL dressed as a sexy Hermione Granger when she was 17 years old, because like, sure, why the hell not? Not only is Lindsay underage and we're talking about her growing up and being sexy, but also Hermione in the book is underage, and also the actress playing her, Emma Watson, was underage. It's like the teenage girl to bringing up sex pipeline is real, okay? But let's move on, okay? I'm ranting. 2009. Or as I like to call it, the year of the Shanaynay. If you don't know about Shanaynay, congratulations, because you have lived a more peaceful existence than I.
And she's not a beast. Her name is Shanaynay. Shanaynay.
She is a character that Shane has played in hundreds of videos.
So as you guys know, I am Shanaynay, and this is my homegirl, black as shit.
And it's not a stretch to say that she is Shane's most awful racist magnum opus. Now, a lot of people speculate that Shane shoplifted the name Shanaynay from a popular show in the 90s called Martin, because in it, Martin Lawrence plays a reoccurring character that's name is also literally Shanaynay, just spelled differently.
What do you want, Shanaynay?
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude, why are you always over here? I mean, don't you have a bag?
And interestingly enough, although Martin Lawrence is a black comedian, his Shanaynay has received criticism for reinforcing the ghetto black girl caricature. And I bring this up not because it's for me to determine whether or not it was wrong for him to do this character. I've never even seen the show. But if a man that is black himself is being told by anyone like, hey, maybe this isn't good for black women, maybe it's kind of harmful. Imagine this white-ass MF Shane Dawson being inspired to do the same thing, except 1,000 times worse and not funny.
As you guys know, I am Shanaynay, and this is my homegirl, black as shit.
Also, apparently, Shanaynay is an extremely rare name to have. I read that it's estimated 14 people might have this name in the United States, which is crazy because if you're following me, this means that Martin Lawrence accidentally passed a metaphorical Shanaynay football to Shane Dawson, and then Shane pioneered Shanaynay to become a name that is almost always said in a derogatory manner now. And this character existing and being shown to a young audience is just so bad because Shanaynay is really just like the worst nuclear combo of both the Sapphire and Jezebel racist tropes. If you don't know, the Sapphire archetype characterizes black women as aggressive, rude, stubborn, and domineering.
Thank you so much, Tyra!
Hold up! You telling me this chicken head ass bitch won over me? Yes. Okay then, you're about to become America's next top ass bitch. What? Give me your damn crown.
Whereas the Jezebel characterizes black women as hypersexual, promiscuous, and having a lack of self-control.
If I wanted to watch a flat-chested bitch wearing clown makeup
masturbate herself for 2 hours, I would just stare in the mirror on a Friday night.
These stereotypes are literally derived from slavery. And on top of that, there was just a general gag that Shanaynay is stupid. There was a lot to unpack with that, and probably a lot that I'm missing. But let's talk about the first video that she appeared in, which is titled DMV. This is a skit where Shane plays as a new driver taking his driver's test, and Shanaynay is his instructor.
The fuck you looking at? What? No, homie, I'm just playing. You white people get so scared so quick.
And listen, this is important, okay? Shane asks her if she's white, and in response, she says,
"Aren't you white? I'm light-skinned. Like Van Diesel."
So if it wasn't already incredibly obvious that he is pretending to be a black person, I mean, there you go. Also, I looked up what race Vin Diesel is just out of curiosity and found out that he identifies as racially ambiguous. So I guess we'll never know the true answer to that. Kinda interesting. Fun fact. I don't know. I've never heard anyone answer a question like that before. Anyways, another thing that Shane loves to do is to use Shanaynay as a vehicle for even more racism. For example, if you take a look at the second video that she appears in, which is titled 911, she plays a 911 operator that is picking up the phone answering a call from a guy who is dying on the floor.
"Oh, hey girl. No, I ain't busy. No, I quit that bullshit. Crack Donald's, hell no. Minimum wage? Do I look like a minimum wage type girl to you? Oh, just a second. 911. I think I'm dying. Oh no, hold on. Don't look into the light, please."
But she tells him that she can't help him because she was playing bumper cars with ambulances all night last night, which led to all of them being destroyed. Shanaynay describes it like this.
It was crazy. You know, it was kind of like a carnival, you know? Except there was no dirty ass Mexicans pressing a bunch of buttons that they don't know how to press.
I don't know, it's just kind of interesting that it appears to be so funny to make fun of everyone else's race. Meanwhile, Shane's over here just being white, not saying anything about being white, just saying. It's just so like, there's no defending it. This isn't like fucking South Park or something where everyone is just under fire. Not very many comments would load underneath this video on the Wayback Machine, but there was one written by a kid that says, "What the hell? I am Mexican and I usually love your videos, but now I am offended." Okay, first of all, I'm telling you this as a Mexican, okay? It's kind of funny that this child was okay with all the other racism, but then was like, "Hey, what the hell? Now you're talking about me." Okay? Second of all, like, if a child in your audience is telling you, "Hey, that's too far," you might want to reconsider how awful your judgment is. Then, in an even more criminally offensive video titled Ghetto Girl Makeup Tips, Shanaynay has this to say about Asian girls.
I saw these videos of these Asian trying to do makeup and trying to show people how to do makeup. And you know what? I ain't racist. I ain't trying to be racist, but all I'm saying is stick to what they know. And what they need to be doing is making videos about how to give good blowjobs and give good nails.
Then has the gall to go, "That was kind of racist, wasn't it?"
That was kind of racist, wasn't it? I didn't mean it to be. Oops. Whatever, I already said it, can't take it back. Oop.
And what's probably the worst part of this video comes at the very end, because we're used to a black scent by now, but Shane/Shanaynay does an even more egregious version of that is somehow more racist than the original.
So now that we is done with the makeup, why don't you leave me a comment or a video response telling me what else you want me to do?
And unfortunately for any of the Shane Dawson fans out there, this is genuinely his perception of people of color, because he has said it outright many times that this was him acting black.
Now I'm gonna put this wig on and act like a black person. You better f***ing laugh. Okay, I'll laugh. My name's Shanaynay. I found a pubic hair in my foot.
It also shouldn't surprise you that Shanaynay is a huge fan of saying the N-word. Now, there's many examples of this, but here's an interesting one where she keeps throwing it around in front of Josh Peck, of all people.
Wait, are you saying Oprah doesn't say the N-word?
Do you think she does?
Yes,
Oh,
when
hell yeah.
when Gail's down there eating her ass, she like, "Nigga, get it! Nigga, get that pussy, nigga!" And then she like, "Stanley, go away, I don't need you, nigga!"
And I know what you're thinking. Why was Josh Peck anywhere near the vicinity of a Shane Dawson video? Well, apparently he was promoting his new movie called Red Dawn.
Go check out Red Dawn, November 21st.
Red Dawn. That's like this one time I was on my period, and this guy was like, "Don't worry, baby, it doesn't bother me. It just tastes like a new penny. That's my favorite taste." And I was like, I still gotta get my tickets to go see Red Dawn.
And I can't really understand the logic of advertising your film in a video with a guy saying the N-word and also saying that he has AIDS.
That'd be like if a doctor's like, "You have AIDS," and I'm like, "Oh, I know. I've had the test 10 times. I know."
And by the way, for all those curious like me, Red Dawn was a movie starring Chris Evans and Josh Hutcherson. I know. And it has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. So all I have to say is, was the association with Shanaynay really worth it?
So there you go. That was me making Josh Peck extremely uncomfortable. You're welcome.
So as you probably noticed by now, Shanaynay has a very distinctive look. Like, it is very dumb, but it is also very identifiable. So around this time, there were plenty of people making videos that were referencing her, making parody videos, and even makeup tutorials. Her popularity even escalated to a point where Shane did live performances as Shanaynay. For instance, at U-Tour in 2011. And I mean, historically speaking, getting up on a stage, even if it's not a literal stage, which in this case it is, if you are, air quotes, acting black like this in front of others for their entertainment, that is minstrel. And just because he didn't do blackface for this character doesn't really change that. Plus, this fucking guy does blackface all the time. But we'll definitely address that more in the future because we got a lot of bullshit to go through with this guy. My point is, though, is that it's truly bizarre how Shane did what is basically a modern day minstrel for children. Literally targeted to them.
Who are you here to see? Who are you here to see?
Shane Dawson.
Shane Dawson! Who are you here to see?
Shane Dawson!
Oh, I must have came in the Shane Dawson line!
This is why it's really not that surprising to find out that Shanaynay's popularity caused black kids to be on the receiving end of bullying. I found several Reddit threads and YouTube videos from black women saying that they were called Shanaynay by Shane Dawson fans. For example, this girl felt like no matter what she did or said, her white peers would always boil it down to her acting like Shanaynay.
It just felt like no matter what I did, whether it was dive into musical theater or doing my writing or doing whatever, none of that mattered, because if I spoke up and said, hey, I don't like that, or I was angry, or I didn't like something, I was ghetto and aggressive like Shanaynay. If I had 2 celebrity crushes, or I liked 2 guys at once, people would be like, yeah, you're gonna have 10 kids like Shanaynay, you're gonna, you know, and it's like, wow, like all these other girls can behave and do things in a certain way, and I can't because I have to prove these stereotypes don't apply to me. I can't because if I do this, then I'm just another angry black girl. Like, that's not okay. And I was 10. So while I'm 10, going through puberty and not understanding how the real world works, I'm internalizing all this hate.
And I really can't imagine how awful that was to deal with every day, especially knowing that his channel was only getting more and more popular. This character truly lands in like the worst area possible because the kids watching understand enough that Shane is supposedly acting like a, air quotes, black person, but simultaneously see it as a joke that is not causing any actual harm. So much so that they're saying it to their peers all the time. Why? Because their hero says this so nonchalantly. In fact, he's so not chalant about it that he also copyrighted the Shanaynay name this year.
By the way, if you see me out in public, stop telling your parents, oh look, it's that creepy guy on the internet that I watch. That gets me arrested.
It's sadly and unfortunately, I feel like I've said unfortunately 1,000 times in this video because it just keeps getting worse. Okay, Shanaynay was the first of many, many other characters. So many, in fact, that Shane created his own series for them called Shane and Friends. Not to be confused with the Shane and Friends podcast, which is a whole nother chapter worth of information. No. This Shane and Friends was a monthly show to show his multiverse of characters that he created.
Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Shane and Friends. The show I do once a month where all the characters have their own little segment.
And each of these videos began with this incredibly annoying intro song, accompanied with a grotesque animation of Shane rubbing his nipples.
You're watching Shane Dawson and Friends, where the excitement never ends. So open your ears, sit down and relax, or Shanaynay will bust a fucking cap in your ass.
And aside from that theme song, each individual character also has their theme song, which are all, of course, equally as bad. But here's the fuck of it all, okay? Apparently, all of these songs were written and performed by Charlie Puth.
Got a little advice from Shane and Friends. Hit the thumbs up button, or Shanaynay will fucking kill you.
Yeah, Charlie fucking Puth. What? And you know, I knew nothing about this man other than his name sounding incredibly familiar to me. So if you don't know who he is either, he is the guy that sings When I See You Again, the Fast and the Furious song. Also, this other song that makes me want to, I can't even say it, but you know what I'm talking about. I just want to end it all when I hear this song, because it used to play 20 times at my job at Albertsons. It's the one that goes, we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. You know what I mean now. You get it. You get it. You could say I am not a fan, but I did give it my all to figure out how the hell Shane knew him or what they could possibly have in common, and I came up with nada. But in that process, I did accidentally find out that Charlie Puth is a piece of shit. If you'll indulge me, if you'll walk with me and talk with me for 30 extra seconds here. Firstly, people complain that Charlie Puth is constantly bragging about having perfect pitch.
So this is a G.
Secondly, he did a Genius interview where he acts super annoyed that Selena Gomez wouldn't have sex with him.
We would be talking in the hotel. She'd be like, you want to sleep over? I'd be like, yes, I'm gonna get it in. And then nothing would happen, which is totally fine. But after like the 5th time of that happening, I knew what she was doing, trying to make me so embedded to her that like I would never leave her. I would never get what I wanted out of her. So she was doing that repeatedly just to get something out of me.
So now that I think about it, perhaps that actually does solve the mystery as to why he would ever want to work with Shane Dawson. Birds of a creepy feather stick together. Now, the animation for Shane and Friends was created by a guy named Cybertoons, whom has not posted in 13 years. So it seems this was his one and only contribution to media, unfortunately. I mean, let's just say I'm happy things don't look like this anymore. This is like a Bitmoji, but worse. Anyways, though, Shane and Friends pisses me off for a variety of reasons. But a huge one is that none of them are titled Shane and Friends Episode 1 or Shane and Friends Episode 2. They all just have random ass clickbait titles like A Lady Gaga Holiday or Make Your Ugly Friend Hot. So hunting down these episodes gave me a couple gray hairs. But let's take a look at some of Shane's more noteworthy characters. Starting with this guy called Ned The Nerd, who is probably the least offensive character on this roster, but that's not saying that much because he's still racist somehow. He is just simply involved with less racist and PDF file jokes. So thank God for that, I guess. One of the first episodes I saw him in, he talks about meeting Steve Urkel at the mall, but then being disappointed that he was black.
Then when I was 14, I wanted to meet my hero, Steve Urkel, at the mall. And when I did, I found out he wasn't even a nerd. And he was really black.
Like, did you watch the show? But characteristically, okay, he is the nerd trope.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to Ned's Nerd World, a show where I'll be talking about everything nerdy.
He has tape on his glasses, he looks like an emoji, and he has a high-pitched voice.
On Enchant to Girls live on the computer. And you know on computers, nerds are king.
The only sort of unexpected element about him is that he has the tendency for pent-up rage and violence.
Well, I can beat the shit out of you with the baseball bat and piss on your face while you're bleeding to death. What?
And for whatever reason, Ned eventually got his own show, which was called Ned's Nerd World.
Ned's Nerd World, Ned's Nerd World. It's time to get techie in Ned's World.
In these Ned the Nerd segments, he's typically reviewing new tech. And in his very first episode, he reviews this panda speaker thing called Magic Panda.
Today I'm going to be reviewing Magic Panda.
Hello, Ned!
Hello, Panda.
Which predicts the future of whomever is holding it.
This little baby's psychic. You ask it a question, and it knows the answer. Let's try a few testers, shall we?
And so, Magic Panda tells Ned that he's going to be obese, homeless, and living on a bike.
A bike? I don't even know how to ride a bike.
You'll learn!
This causes him to brutally destroy Panda beyond recognition and receive a review of 0 out of 5 stars.
I give that motherfucker 0 out of 5 stars.
Each episode of the show would begin with him discussing pretty innocuous topics, but then quickly spiral into a gruesome tale about how his life sucks. And each of these stories is depicted in this uncanny flash animation style that I can only describe as looks like mess. So the very first episode is on the topic superheroes and how he wished that superpowers were real so that he could have gotten away from bullies at school and his dad, you know, as told through these methy, violent illustrations.
I'd come home all bloody and sad. Then my dad would say, "Man up!" And then I'd cry myself to sleep.
The video then ends with Ned saying that he's gonna go stick his finger down his throat now.
Someone please develop superpowers so I can escape my life. Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom and make myself vomit because I've decided I'm fat and that's why women don't like me. Bye!
I've done some psychoanalyzing on this character because sure, what the hell, why not? And I've determined that Ned the Nerd is the character that Shane bases his life on the most. Because it just checks a lot of boxes on his actual experiences. Like having an eating disorder, having bullies and an abusive dad, having weird relationships with his pets.
Charlie! Who wants peanut butter? Hey, if you don't eat your dinner, you won't get dessert.
All things that Shane would eventually discuss publicly. But perhaps, and most pathetically, the things that they have the most in common are being racist and perpetually victimizing themselves, no matter what they do or say.
I've never had anything I've ever wanted in my entire life. When I was born, I wanted to be a girl, but that didn't happen. And now that I'm older, I want girls, but that doesn't happen. I just really want a BlackBerry Curve because it sounds like something fucking awesome I'll never have. Just like women or cars or Steve Urkel. And I want them so bad! But I'll wake up every morning with the realization that I'm still a nerd and I'll never get them. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and cry.
Another little detail about these videos is that Hedwig from Harry Potter is his sidekick.
Hello, citizens! I don't know about you, but me and Hedwig here live in a very dangerous neighborhood. Alright, let's just load up the old laptop, right, Hedwig?
It's unfunny and it makes no sense, but my hypothesis is that he includes her because he canonically hates Harry Potter.
Rule number 5, don't join the Harry Potter club, or a jock will shove a Quidditch stick up your butt.
What if he doesn't like Harry Potter? Did you
I specifically told him, I said, hey, do you hate Harry Potter? And he said, yeah, I hate that gay shit. And I said, great, come on over. They're talking about Harry Potter. He's gonna say, I wanna go to Harry Potter World. That's what he's gonna say.
I got that Hufflepuff flow. We love friendship and playing in the snow.
But in the end, as per Shane and Friends, Shane Dawson lore, none of Ned's story really matters because in the end, his life is tragically cut short when he gets murdered by Shanaynay because he tried to be in a threesome with her and another character called Deezy.
So I guess this is it? You know what I want to do before I die. I can take a wild guess. Can I join?
Oh yes, that brings us to this motherfucker, Deezy.
Yo, welcome to the G-Spot with me, Deezy.
He of course also has his own theme song.
Deezy's G-Spot. You better take his advice or your ass will get shot.
And I genuinely do not even know where to begin with this guy. So let me have a self-proclaimed Dawson explain it to you. Deezy is one of Shane Dawson's characters who is interpreted as a sex addict that cannot be around / think about an attractive woman without coming. He often talks about sex or masturbation. In his part of Shane Dawson and Friends, he'll have an attractive woman as a guest and refer to the woman as a bitch and always ends up coming in the end and yelling out a Pokemon. The woman will either say something around the lines of, Deezy, did you just come? And then he'll shoot her. You heard that straight from the Dawson horse's mouth. Deezy is basically a black-scenting psychopathic gooner. Yeah, it's very much a concept. It's a concept. And an essential part of Deezy's lore that I found on a deleted Shane wiki page is that Deezy is secretly in love with Shanaynay. And we know this because he's the only one that he doesn't call bitch. How very romantic. This wiki also says that it has been revealed that his real name is Stanley. And I hope we can all acknowledge and have a moment of silence for whoever took the time to write that out and reveal it as if it was top secret information. Deezy was actually kind of ahead of his time in terms of misogyny because he says things as a joke that are now unironically and unabashedly said by people like Andrew Tate or like the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Today's episode is about how to treat a woman right during dinner. Because it's not about sex all the time, right?
I mean, banging hoes is fine, but there comes a point where you're going to want something more than that. So if you're going to truly succeed with women, you need to, okay, sleep with a lot of them, but you also need to get that deeper connection with women where it gets to the point where you can say, you know what, babe, I'm going to jail 6 years for locking me up, and she'll visit every week.
Like, his whole slogan is better man, better lover, and better motherfucker. Sorry, I know you hate to hear it out of my mouth. I hate to hear it out of my mouth.
Man, this show is all about teaching you how to be a better man, a better lover, and an all-around better motherfucker like myself.
But here is Deezy's advice for how to pick up a bitch in a bar.
So in this episode, I'm gonna teach you how to pick up a bitch in a bar. Man, this one's easy. You just walk up to that bitch and you like, yo, bitch, I like your titties, suck my dick, you want a drizzang?
But then his producer tells Deezy that he actually found a girl to practice this on.
Yo, man, when I told you to find a bitch, I didn't really think he was gonna find one, but yeah, man, bring her in though. Yeah, that's cool. More the merrier, right?
And Deezy is embarrassed because he doesn't know how to talk to women without being a piece of shit.
Hey, Deezy. I am such a huge fan.
You is? I mean, yo man, of course you is. Every bitch wants a piece of the D.
Then, in classic Deezy fashion, the moment she indulges him, he comes in his pants and he yells out a Pokemon. This time, it's Pikachu.
Yo bitch, you want me to buy you a drizzang?
I would love that.
Oh, Pikachu!
She confronts him about this, and then, as per stated in the Shane Dawson wiki, he shoots her.
Oh my god. Did you just...
What? No, man. No, man, you was all like, whoo, and I was like, and
Like the Dawson fans said, this is his typical formula. He brings a girl guest on, he objectifies them and women as a whole, he comes, he yells the name of a Pokemon, and then he shoots them. Like, on paper, it might just sound like a normal average Shane joke, but there's something disturbing about the amount of women that he kills in this series. Like, there was just something very gross about it, and Shane actually has a real pattern of showing violence towards women, like, just as a joke in his videos. We'll get more to that later. Anyways, in the second episode of Shane and Friends, the woman that he invites onto the show this time is played by his then girlfriend, Lisa.
So I found a really classy bitch on Craigslist.com. Bring her out. Yo, this is Daphne. She's a stripper, but she's in school to be a Scientologist.
And in the context of this segment, as someone watching, naturally I do not understand why she came on the show, because he is known as the Craigslist cum killer.
But this week it's just gonna be sexy old me. Mainly because Channel 9 News called me the Craigslist cum killer and no ladies want to come by anymore.
This date with Lisa does not last very long because she calls him the nicest gentleman she's ever met, prompting him to come again and yell Squirtle.
A guy like you is so rare these days, Deezy. You are a real gentleman. What's wrong, Deezy? Deezy?
Boo, Squirtle! Why the fuck did I come from being called a gentleman?
And might I add, on top of this all, there is something oddly pornographic about these skits. Like, the dialogue actually feels like it was just abducted from a actual porn script.
Did you just Deezy? I am disgusted with you! How dare you ejaculate in front of me and before dinner!
Again, really weird to be presenting to children, but I digress. Then, of course, he kills her.
I don't need you.
However, SDZ's last appearance on Shane and Friends, according to this wiki, is in an episode called Nuns Gone Wild.
Now on today's show, I want to keep it super clean and super dry, so I invited my first grade teacher, Sister Mary Teresa.
Hello, Deezy. And hello to all you poor, misguided children out there on the internet.
And it is the only time where, shocking, he does not kill someone. Although he does still come. And if you're wondering what the Pokemon was that time, it was Dragonite.
Oh, Dragonite!
Deezy, did you just procreate in your pants?
Then the episode ends with him attempting to kill a nun, but actually accidentally shooting himself.
Sorry, Jesus.
Check the safety.
Oh.
Don't ever fuck with Jesus!
And I am truly fascinated with the comments underneath this video. The audience is truly invested. One of them reads, "Don't try to shoot one of Jesus's women. You'll fuck yourself up. Fuck, man. SDZ's dead? Someone kill that bitch hoe." And some of these people were just confused, writing, "That was just wow. Interesting." In the end though, Couch Patrol 001 is the only person that gets me. Not cool, dude. But get this, listen, okay? This is the most bizarre part of SDZ lore. This is actually insane, okay? He later became an actual canonical character on Total Drama Island. No, I'm not kidding. On the Total Drama Island wiki, he was in an episode called Beginner's Luck Part 1, and on the Total Drama Island wiki, it specifically credits Shane Dawson as the creator of this character.
So guys, how did you...
Huh? Was that us, Deezy?
SDZ, what are you doing? Chris told us to get to the finish line, but he didn't say how. Wahapa!
And look, I don't want to throw Total Drama Island under the bus. I remember watching that and thinking it was funny as hell, but there was somebody in that writer's room that deserves to get their computer confiscated. But the next character on our roster is Shane's mom. Here's her theme song.
If your life is a major bomb, get some wisdom from Shane's mom.
Shane's mom is depicted as a deadbeat alcoholic mother who is constantly embarrassing Shane and giving him terrible advice.
And I wasn't exactly what you would call popular. Actually, I was usually called fat, stupid, unattractive, creepy, serial killer-ish. Okay, Mom, you need to stop interrupting my videos.
So naturally, her segments are about giving that terrible life advice to Shane's viewers.
It's important to give those who f with you a taste of their own medicine. For my medicine, I like to take a towel and shove it in my vagina. And then I do some Kegel squeezes and fill it up with my woman juices. See you later, f***its.
Her early depictions are especially disturbing. Like, there's a Shane and Friends video titled Birds and the Bees, and in it, she teaches Shane how to have sex and basically shows him how to rape someone.
Sex was explained to me in a lot of different ways. My mom tried to explain it to me, but she just made everything extremely awkward and uncomfortable. Okay, honey, let's just pretend that this is you, and this is your girlfriend. So this is how it goes, basically. I've never done this before, but I guess. Ow, it kind of hurts. I feel like I'm, oh my God, I can't feel anything. I'm all over the place. I don't care. I'm gonna make you forget everything. You little bitch. I'm gonna fuck your ass.
And when you think about who she's talking to and how many of his viewers looked up to him, some of which possibly even learned about sex or what sex really was from this video, it is beyond disgusting. You know, shockingly, this is hardly even worth mentioning, I feel. It is a given, but Shane's mom is also horribly, horribly racist.
See? Black girls are good for more than just doing hair and getting pregnant. They're good at making me laugh. And they have really thick heads!
She's terrible, let's move on. Then there's Aunt Hilda, another member of Shane's family. And she is canonically Jewish.
And I know what you're thinking. Hilda, aren't you Jewish? Why are you celebrating Easter? I don't know.
Which of course means there's gonna be a lot of jokes about that.
Just because I'm a Jew doesn't mean I'm cheap. This shirt costs $3. Yeah, 3.
Very original. Aunt Hilda had her own kitchen set on Shane and Friends, which feels kind of reminiscent of infomercials that you would see as a kid.
At Hilda's Home and Garden Show.
And just like Shane's mom, she is also an uncanny parental figure. But instead, this time, instead of just sitting around being an alcoholic, she's showing you how to cook and make things. An example of her life advice is how to give your plants some TLC.
Oh, hi, little drunken mistakes. Today I'm going to show you how to make your plants go from this to this. All you need to do is show these babies a little TLC.
Which, by TLC, she does not mean tender love and care. Instead, she's talking about this.
No, not tender love and care, you pussy fag. Tequila, limes, and crap.
Know this? Aunt Hilda loves the F-bomb, which is probably the direct result of Shane having some sort of biphobia towards himself, but it doesn't make it any less unpleasant to hear in such a derogatory way. And then in episode 2, she teaches the audience how to make a cookie in the shape of a penis.
So today we're gonna make cookies. Now, a lot of people like to cut their cookies into things like hearts or stars or horseshoes or other gay shit like that. I like to use something that really makes my mouth water. A penis!
After which you know she's gotta tell you what she wants to do with it.
Our penis is ready. Take a look at that dick. Damn. If I was a cookie woman, I'd shove it in my cookie vagina and fuck the shit out of it.
But besides Aunt Hilda having her own segment on Shane and Friends, she was in a lot of Shane's early sketches and parody videos. For example, this TGIF Katy Perry parody. There is a lot wrong with this music video, but to start with just a few of a billion examples, Shane, as Aunt Hilda, sexualizes Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment on a poster.
Sunday night, pin the penis on the whore.
Which you may or may not know is actually a recurring theme for Shane. But second of all, Shane is also racist to the chocolate rain guy in this music video.
Telling racist jokes all night last Sunday night.
Which is just not okay. Do not speak ill of chocolate rain. Ever. And the video ends by zooming into a girl's skirt as she jumps in the air, and it's just so creepy. And I don't even know like how old this person is. I don't know who they are, so I'm not gonna show it to you. You just have to take my word for it. But unfortunately, the Aunt Hilda parody pipeline gets much darker because she also stars in a parody music video titled The One That Turned You Gay, which if you were sentient in the 2010s, you're probably aware was a parody of The One That Got Away by Katy Perry.
And now they're gonna say I was the one that turned you gay.
But the whole premise of this video is that she walks in on Shane kissing a guy as a dare.
Now I dare you guys to kiss.
Come on, bitch tits, just make out with that dude.
Do it, 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 do it,
Fuck it.
do it, do it.
Oh! I didn't see it.
And is so shocked that she begins reminiscing and ruminating on the past.
You used to come to my house and visit me. I'd let you play with Barbies and then we'd bake cookies.
And these flashbacks pretty much kind of insinuate on the molesting Shane, which is already uncomfortable enough, given the fact that, okay, first of all, that is a really offensive stereotype. One that only makes it harder for the percentage of queer people that have actually been assaulted to feel uncomfortable and have a harder time grappling with that whole pain of it all. But that whole issue became the least of my concern as the video quickly escalated into being a Mount Everest of inappropriate, because there is an actual child involved that plays young Shane.
Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to the behind the scenes of the music video, The One That Turned You Gay, starring Aunt Hilda, me, a little kid, and a bunch of strippers.
And he is put into some very compromising positions. I don't even want to say this, and I certainly won't be showing it to you, but Shane, as Aunt Hilda, puts an inappropriately shaped cake in his mouth. It's so gross, it's so uncomfortable, it feels voyeuristic, like it almost feels like it is designed for like a PDF files viewing. Like I would love to like Mr. Krabs retract, like VCR that out of my mind. Of course there's more though somehow. This poor kid gets tossed into the arms of like half-naked male strippers.
Awesome, man. Stoked.
A lot of people are going to see my penis.
The bulge.
Whoa. Oh, I thought we were getting really naked. I thought we were getting naked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. When we were shooting that video over there, that 12-year-olds, is that 12-year-old appropriate, what we said? Oh, it is?
So that's also disturbing, and it makes you wonder who the hell let their kids be around this dude? Even little kids in the comment section are asking this question. How did they get that kid's mom to let he do that stuff? Okay, so think about it. Again, if a kid is critiquing your judgment, really roll it back.
Now I invited a bunch of kids because as of today, the judge no longer thinks I need to stay at least 50 feet away from them at all times. Stupid judge.
But in the end, this video resolves when Aunt Hilda apologizes for reacting so shocked when she found out that he was gay.
When I walked in on you, being all super gay, I started blaming myself. But then I realized there's no reason to blame anyone. It's who you are.
I'm sorry I overreacted.
It's okay. But Aunt Hilda, I'm not gay. Don't ruin this
And when the video cuts back to Shane in his bedroom, as it always does after he presents god-awful content, he tries to spin this music video as a PSA for kids.
Hey, what's up you guys? Hope you liked the video. I wanted to do a spoof that was really funny but also had a message. Kind of like an after-school special.
Oh, cool. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that there was a good message. I guess there's a good message. I mean, Shane says so that's cool.
Alright, fat girls and f***its, that's our show. And that's how you throw the perfect Halloween party.
There's really no good segue away from the one that turned you gay, so let's just move on to the next character, which is Paris Hilton. Creative, right? Now, Paris is easily one of the most problematic characters. And not only did she have her own segment on Shane and Friends called Ask Paris.
Oh my god, it's Ask Paris Hilton.
She was also a regular guest in any given Shane Dawson video. And when it comes to the Ask Paris segment, it basically consists of her dishing out insults to viewers under the guise of helping them. She is often very cruel and tone deaf to literal children who are asking for advice.
Dear Paris, can you give me some advice on how to get a guy to like you?
I don't know what you're talking about because you obviously have an abusive boyfriend. I mean, 2 black eyes. Call the cops. Seriously, your eye makeup is ew.
And I understand this is probably what they come to expect because they are fans of his videos. Like, they know how the segment works, but nevertheless, it's fucked up for a grown-ass man to be insulting them like this.
Dear Paris Hilton, I need the money for some fancy editing software for my Mac. How can I get that money simple and quick?
I will personally send you a check for $2 million if you shave your head and send me the hair so I can give it to Tinkerbell as a fuck buddy.
In some cases, they're even racist, straight to the child's face.
Dear Paris, I was wondering, how does it feel to be the prettiest girl on this planet?
Thank you, black person with camera way too close to your face. It's fucking awesome.
Paris's skits are also very disturbing and strange. For an example, she is very obsessed with the Kardashians, specifically Kim in particular, and it gets downright fucked up. Like, there's an episode of Shane and Friends called Kim Kardashian is Dead, in which Shane attends Paris's birthday party.
But hey, some people have really good birthdays. I mean, Paris Hilton had a really good one a couple weeks ago, and luckily, I was actually invited.
Where she literally says she wishes Kim was raped and murdered.
What did you wish for?
I can't tell you.
This just in. Moments ago, Kim Kardashian was raped and murdered. Story at 11.
It came true.
Paris then invites Shane to break the piñata, which is actually just their child slave who they curb stomp for fun.
Oh, that's Pinata. She's our child slave. Every year we tie her up and beat the fucking shit out of her.
Curb stomp, curb stomp, curb stomp, curb stomp.
Then there is a joke that's almost impressively racist because it has layers to it. It's as if Shane woke up that day and was like, how can I indoctrinate children to hate black people today? Oh, I know! I'll film Paris Hilton, my hilarious character, laughing with her friends while watching the movie Precious. Which is, if you didn't know, an incredibly sad film about a 16-year-old black girl who gets sexually assaulted and impregnated by her own father. And on top of that, physically and verbally abused by her mother.
You bitch! You fucking bitch!
About this, Paris says they're watching some Eddie Murphy film.
What are you guys watching?
Oh, just some Eddie Murphy movie.
Which is a reference to how in the early 2000s and 2010s, Eddie Murphy played a variety of characters in fat suits, like the Nutty Professor and Norbit, in both of which he dressed as overweight black women. Another one of Paris's friends says this.
Oh, that fat suit
it looks disgusting! Oh, did you see that?
Whilst Shane's girlfriend, Lisa, yells this out.
Black! Black! So much black! Oh my god!
Man, Lisa had a real knack for participating in unfunny behavior. But to fully understand just how insulting this is, you have to understand the social climate at the time of this video. Precious, the character, and the actress who played her, Gabourey Sidibe, were the butt of every racist and fatphobic joke in Hollywood. Seriously, people could not shut the fuck up about this.
And there's the most enormous fat black chick I've ever seen, that Gabrielle Sidibe.
Sidibe, or whatever her name is.
Good Lord, what does she eat?
Everybody's pretending that she's a part of show business.
Right. It's just ludicrous because everyone's pretending to be part of show business.
And she's going to be around.
And she's never going to be in another movie. And she really should have gotten the Best Actress award because she's never going to have another show. What movie is she going to be in?
So even without Shane making this joke, I am sure many young women were stereotyped and called precious. And Shane's like, yeah, why don't I just dogpile on top of that? Time to capitalize off of hate. Shanaynay style. Now this next set of characters are those that weren't good enough, I guess, to get their own segment on Shane and Friends, but are featured just enough in his videos to deserve a brief mention. So firstly, there's Amy Johnson, which is a character that Shane made to depict a stereotypical mean girl who also has an eating disorder, and she was first introduced in an early skit of his titled High School Drama.
Hey, gay McBallsface, why don't you leave some for the turtles?
Ooh, good one.
Which is surprisingly still on his channel. Very, very rare for this series. And this video is less of a skit and more of a pseudo PSA about eating disorders.
This one is about an issue that I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I just really didn't know how. So hopefully you guys will like it, and I will see you after the video.
Basically, Amy's boyfriend calls her fat.
Baby, we need to talk about something. You're getting kinda what?
Come on, baby, I'm not a mind reader.
Fat.
Which leads her to contemplating throwing up in the school bathroom. And it's here where she encounters a character that looks like a really bad Amy Winehouse impersonator. And she tells Amy Johnson, that is, that she eats whatever she wants and uses her finger to make it come up.
Wow, if I ate all that, I would be fat.
That's why I have my best friend right here to help me do all my dirty work.
Then she proceeds to teach Amy about inspiration, which is really fucked up to me because this means in turn Shane is teaching his audience about aka something you should not be planting into a child's mind. Basically, this character uses a picture of an underweight Nicole Richie to inspire her desire to binge and purge.
Look at her fingernails. They're naturally purple. She doesn't even have to get them painted.
And as somebody who had an eating disorder growing up, I can tell you it would not have helped me to know that that was an option. Was not something I heard about until I got into the bowels of Tumblr. Okay, let it stay there rather than on this platform for 4 million children to see. But anyways, the video then attempts to turn into an uplifting mental health montage.
You don't understand me. Okay? You're beautiful, Amy. Anyone that doesn't see that has a problem with themselves.
You know, like, accept how you look. You're so beautiful the way that you are. Which makes no sense coming from Shane.
So hopefully if anybody out there is feeling like Amy, I know I do some days, not comfortable in your own skin, just remember that you are you no matter how much of you there is.
Like, in this same video, Amy gets bullied for looking Asian, to which she responds like this.
Yo, Mikey, I didn't know you was dating an Asian.
Ew, I'm not Asian.
But oh, I made this because I need you to hear this message and I love you so much. It's so condescending. And it pisses me off that Shane must think this is so empowering that he needs it to remain public. He's like, this one's problematic, but you know what? It's worth it. People need to hear this. That brings us to Frute Lupe, who is, in my opinion, one of the more bizarre characters.
Hola, motherfucker! It's me, Frute Lupe! I even have my own catchphrase. No problemo, homo!
More like low-hanging Frute Lupe. Frute Lupe is, of course, another offensive caricature, but this time, Shane took the opportunity to expand his racist palette. Cause this time, he's mocking Hispanic stereotypes.
Oh, that's fuck. Cause you're in luck because you're hanging with Frute Lupe. Yeah. What's up, motherfuckers?
What race exactly? We don't know. This is just some ambiguous accent. In fact, he admits he doesn't f***ing know.
So yes, I actually should Wikipedia all these Spanish terms because I'm playing Frute Lupe and I don't know anything. I feel like as long as I bring up Taco Bell every 30 seconds, I'm fine, right?
This is such a confused fucking character. For example, in a video called Chola Makeup Tips,
My makeup box, so like right here I have all of my lipsticks.
Shane shows that she wears Halloween store monster makeup.
This is what I like to wear like when I go to like a picnic or like some kind of family gathering. Like, I don't want to look too crazy, you know? And then this is like for like my nighttime wear, like when I'm feeling freaky. Like, I like to wear some kind of a witch makeup.
Like, what is the joke? Do Spanish-speaking individuals dress up as Universal movie monsters regularly? Am I missing something? Is there something in my family's heritage and my DNA that's just going to possess me one day to dress up as the fucking monster from the Black Lagoon? What we do actually know about this character is that her real name is Guadalupe. Her friends only call her Frute Lupe because, in Shane's words,
It's Lupe. But my homies call me Frute Lupe because I'm sweet and I suck dick like a toucan.
So anyways, that was the exhaustive list of Shane's most prominent characters, and believe me, there's plenty more, but we simply cannot go through them all, especially since when you boil it all down, when you look at it with a microscope, they're pretty much all clones of one another, you know? And what's really crazy to think about is that they all stemmed from Hodini, the character that randomly came to him in the shower.
Crazy ass video. I don't know, I was in the shower and it just came to me, so I thought it would be funny and I hope you liked it.
Here's a few dishonorable mentions just as a sweet treat on top of all that though. Idol Gaga fan, Lamb Chop.
Hi, Shane. I said, hi, Shane.
Hi, Lamb Chop.
Abby the School Demon.
I am Lucifer, god of the underworld, and I want your soul!
Jennifer.
Oh, good morning, Jennifer. You devil-worshipping whore! I hope you burn and die in hell, you fat old bitch! I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus!
Aunt Hilda's husband.
This is my husband, okay? He was killed in a machete fight outside of a 7-Eleven by 3 angry Mohicans.
This fucking thing.
Faux shizzle.
Miley, and whatever this is. I guess it is quickly worth a mention too that on Shane's Wikipedia, Deezy and Shane himself, like as a person, not as a character, are both listed as Shanaynay's ex-boyfriends and friends. So at some point, I think the guy just lost track of his storylines. But you must be tired from all these Shane Dawson videos, traveler. Take a moment and rest by the fire. As a token of my gratitude for harrowing through this quest with me, I want to offer you a free I Survived a Shane Dawson video t-shirt straight from my personal collection. Will you accept my offer? Okay, great. Here you go. Now that we've regained our strength and gotten a very cool t-shirt, let's continue our journey. We have arrived to Shane's many side quests. And by side quest, I mean that if there was a website or any app that existed before 2010, Shane had an account. And although many of his profiles have been abandoned and lost to time, here are some notable ones that I found, like his MySpace pages. This is what his main account looked like from 2008 to 2009. And there's several things about it that I find very interesting. Like, first of all, he had a phone number listed on here that you could text to purchase Shanaynay ringtones. I wish I could tell you I knew what the ringtones were, but my attempt to text this old ass number didn't really get me anywhere. But secondly, in his little bio that lists his interests, he writes that Crash is one of his favorite movies. And when I saw that, I said something cringe, okay? I said something crazy. I said out loud, I said LMAO, because I felt I had cracked a code into Shane's psyche. Because for those of you who aren't aware, Crash is a notoriously controversial and tone-deaf film about race. Like, it is a film that attempts to solve racism by being racist and very white-centered. For example, in this movie, there is a main character that's a cop, and at one point, he stops a couple at a traffic stop, and he sexually harasses a black woman. It is very gross, very uncomfortable. But then later on, this same woman who got sexually harassed, assaulted, gets into a car crash, and he rescues her from certain death as flames begin to consume her car. And this movie very stupidly acts like this is supposed to mean he's forgiven for all of his racism and literal crime that he committed earlier in the film. Like, no, you did the bare minimum and didn't let somebody die, aka doing your job. You get it, it's dumb as rocks, and it makes perfect sense that this is one of Shane's favorite movies. Although I have to say, his placement of it between Titanic and Mean Girls is really throwing me through a loop. But thirdly, there is a link on this page that says, click here to see me naked. And I'll have you know, I did in fact click it, but it did not load. God, finally something good happens to me. But regardless, one has to wonder what the hell this was. Bizarrely though, underneath this threat of nudity lies a description of himself that reads, "My name is Shane Dawson. I'm an actor here in Hollywood trying to make a name for myself. I started doing YouTube videos out of boredom, but now it's become a huge part of my life and I am so grateful for it. All of you fans make me feel like warm tapioca pudding inside." Smiley face. I don't like it. I don't like the Holly weird, and I do not like the tapioca pudding. You know what? I'm glad Charlene couldn't find him any roles. At this time, Shane also had a MySpace that was dedicated to his non-existent music, something that would not pierce our ears for another several years. We did not get that super love just quite yet. So Shane also had a live journal that he started in 2008 where he kept blog entries for his fans. And if you're curious, LiveJournal was basically just Tumblr but ugly, as you can see visually with your eyes. And most of his posts on this were just him promoting collaborative videos that he's done, like this one with the Fine Bros, or the Dumbass Bitch Brothers, as I like to call them in this house. Can you tell I don't like them? He also used these blogs to shout out smaller content creator friends like Swift Karate Chop and Cat Sketch, who was actually Shane's best friend for over 10 years.
And a lot of you guys were asking who my friend Kate was, like if she had a YouTube. Her YouTube is it's youtube.com/therealcatsketch. I'll put the link somewhere so you could touch it and subscribe and stuff. So she's really cool. She's my BFF. A best friend for life.
And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Kat is the same person that Shane talks about in his Draw My Life video, in which he says he had a friend who he would make fun of for being Asian. Despite this, Shane describes her as the only person who truly gets him.
And that's where I met one of the only people in my life that truly understands me. Her name was Kate, and she was half Asian, so I would always make fun of her.
And by the way, I didn't know who Kat Sketch was. I looked her up, and apparently her most famous video is of her doing a Minion makeup tutorial. And, you know, looks pretty good, so don't say she never did anything for you. Merch. Shane created a spreadshirt in 2009 with a layout that would make a web designer weep. Like, as you look around at all these, wonderful shirts, you are graced with the presence of a floating Shane torso. Where does he end and where does the void begin? There are analogies everywhere for those with eyes to see. But let's take a look at a few of these items. Okay, there is a Shanaynay shirt that reads, Shanaynay is my homegirl, which costs $15. Ka-ching! Racism. Ka-ching! And considering that he designed this within the first year of starting his channel, he had a lot of confidence in Shanaynay and her ability to be a homegirl. Very presumptuous of you. And fuck, sorry, it's really hard for me to focus when he's staring at me this way. His necktie, his everything, it's disturbing me. Next, we have this tote bag for $14.99. Thank God. I think I have that much. Have you ever tried to pee into your mouth? Shane Dawson has. You can also hop onto the Shane train for just $15 a ticket, and the train tows you all the way to Dunstown. We also have this long sleeve shirt for juniors. Like, very interesting how he made this shirt for tweens. I'd like to know if just one child actually owned this atrocity. If you at any point had this shirt, please comment down below. I need to know. Another example of him hitting his target demographic of children is this notebook sleeve. Forget Saturday morning cartoons. I watch Shane Dawson TV. Yeah, you know what? They definitely should be watching cartoons. But after seeing what this merch looked like, I was not expecting this next thing, okay? Are you ready? Okay, they sold this at Hot Topic.
Look at this. Watch Shane Dawson TV. Look, Shane Dawson TV.
And I'm not gonna lie, this pisses me off for some selfish reasons, because I wish my merch was in Hot Topic, okay? He doesn't deserve it. I wore like 10 Warped Tour bracelets every day to school. Put this shit on a rack near a Pierce the Veil shirt, please.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm so excited because I found out last night that Hot Topic was gonna start selling my shirts today.
Now, unfortunately, it's unclear how well these specific shirts sold at Hot Topic, but there is some footage of fans that were certainly very excited about this.
Here it is. I got the shirt. This is great.
Like, this dude couldn't even wait to put it on at home. He had to change his shirt at the mall.
I'm gonna put this on in the store. I mean, not the store, the mall. Yep, there we go. Official Shane Dawson shirt, Hot Topic.
But perhaps his worst merchandise endeavor was the release of his epic sunglasses. The same ones famously worn in his profile picture. Something that should have never come to fruition, you know, brought into actual existence. Yet he sold them for the low price of $29 plus shipping on the one and only epicdawson.com. And by the way, $30 back then is worth $40.91 today. Like, Shane, there is no way that these weren't produced for about $1 each. But despite them being revolting, Shane actually spent several months trying to promote them by photoshopping them onto random celebrities, which makes me feel like he couldn't get anyone he actually knew to wear them. In fact, aside from this one picture of Shane wearing them himself, I have not found anyone online that actually owned a pair, let alone a picture of themselves wearing them. Fortunately though, Shane would later say that he ended up with a warehouse full of these. And I am glad people got their priorities straight. But okay, this is actually the side quest that surprised me the most, because he apparently had his own app. And I found a thread where this Redditor claims that he found it still downloaded on his old iPod Touch. And some other netizens seem to remember using this app as well. But other than this one picture and just a few people seemingly confirming its existence, I have not been able to find out anything about like what this app looked like, what it did, absolutely nothing. So please, I'm begging you, if you remember this app or have any sort of information about it, any sort of recording of it, please DM me on Instagram because I am dying to know what was going on it. So let me reel you back in, okay? Because we need to talk about someone very important, and that is Fred Figglehorn. So the oldest video on Shane Dawson TV that has not been deleted is titled Fred is Dead, and it has a whopping 25 million views, which is Shane doing a skit slash parody of the iconic early 2000s, early 2010s YouTube star Fred Figglehorn. Hey, it's Fred! And if you don't know about Fred, aka Lucas Cruikshank, this is just basically elderly Gen Z Cocomelon.
If you're wondering why I'm wearing my shirt while I'm going swimming, it's because I'm uncomfortable with my body. Oh my god, there's a shark!
It is so stupid. It's the best. Fred would get like 80 million views on a random ass video like this, which is great. I think he deserved 200 million. He also got very popular on Nickelodeon and even had 3 movies. As you can see here, his dad was played by John Cena.
What are your talents, Fred?
I'm a good singer.
No! Yeah! My house! Grab his head like this. Turn his neck sideways like this.
Incredible. Thank you for letting me give you context. But back to Fred is Dead. This is just a video of Shane doing an impression of Fred's iconic high-pitched voice, but turning all those fun brain rot jokes into inappropriate ass and dick jokes as per usual.
I hope somebody finds me. What if no one's looking? Last time a boy went missing, they found him in the trunk of a guy's car, naked, with his pee-pee chewed off.
This video earned him 2 million views, and he celebrated that milestone on Twitter on April 18th, 2009, on a post that to this day only has 9 likes. Ouch. Now, funnily enough, Lucas Cruikshank would react to this video with Shane many years later, and he unfortunately has to pretend that it is funny in any capacity.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry that I look like I'm about to shit myself, but it's because I am. I am here with
Lucas.
I don't eat peanut butter. Then why do they smell like that? If I'm stuck in here, what am I gonna eat? I'm gonna have to drink my own pee. You know how hard it is to pee directly into your mouth?
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
And that really should be the end of the Shane Dawson times Fred rabbit hole, but I regret to inform you, it is not. As always with Shane, there is a much darker cesspool just waiting to be uncovered.
Me and Lucas get crazy.
I'm 18, so.
You're legal?
Yeah.
Over it.
All in all, 2009 was a huge year for Shane's channel growth. By December 15th, he had already hit 1 million subscribers.
I woke up and I hit 1 million subscribers.
Which solidified him as being one of the most popular creators on this platform. Unfortunately, that is all I have time for today. There is much more to the Shane Dawson lore and to the timeline that really needs to be explained and, most importantly, preserved. So I'm gonna ask you guys, are you here with me on this journey? We are going to do a part 2 and Part 3. Because we can't just let people go around curing their inner teens. He also needs to be banned from Universal Studios, okay? That's my zone. But here's what we're gonna do. So the next installment will contain the years 2010 through 2014, which will include people like Shanna Malcolm, Joey Graceffa, Trisha Paytas, Drew Monson, Rebecca Black, and the dreadful specifics of his relationship with people like Lisa Schwartz. And of course, there is disgusting deleted old vlogs that need not be forgotten. I mean, look at some of these titles. Temperature in my pee hole, I peed in a bottle, porn stars, and R words, sucking on a cow's vagina. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to be asking me about this. We of course are going to talk about his Tiny Chat.
And that is my mom on Tiny Chat.
She's addicted.
This is...
I'm in trouble.
Have you shown your tits yet?
True life, my mom's addicted to online videoing.
Oh my god. This is where all the other magic happens. And by magic, I mean my mom's sitting in here on a laptop naked talking to 12-year-olds on Tiny Chat.
Oh, Shane. Uh-oh. Your Tiny Chats are coming back to bite you in the ass again. There is a ridiculous amount of content that also serves as just straight up proof of Shane, honestly, committing crimes. I don't think I even have to say allegedly, like it's on video. Anyways though, that is deserving of its own full section. But before we go, I gotta thank my sponsor Midas Merge one more time because they were so kind, generous, and patient with me, knowing that I struggle to cut any video down, okay? If I could work on a video forever, I think I would. And lastly, I gotta thank the patrons, starting with the base nerd tier. We have Faye, Alley Cat, Ashley Green, Baby Linny, Big Baby 826, Bioket, Casey H, Kirsty, Cooking with Silence, Dimmy, Domsod, Emise, Grace Squiggle, Grandin, Grand Peepus, Hallow Finn, Hudson Williams, Jeremiah, Junes, Cat K, Kenzie, Lauren, Levy Rogers, Nug, Popsmats, Rachel Stanley, Reno Rabbit, Rowan D, Ruby Femme, Sabrina AG, Sam Melton, Sophia, Steph P, Supernova, Tacky, WIWI, Zayla Babela, and that brings us to Cool Nerd Tier, Brooke, Bruh Moment, Joaquin Attore, Jurina Chu, Kenny Kinning, Kirby, K-Jax, Marley, May, Rat, Ricky K, Roy Salgado, Twihard336, Zugi E, and that is everyone. Thank you guys. All right, I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Or you can squish things like Play-Doh. Pretty impressive. Or inflate things like a balloon. Alright, and here is what we got.